whole nation in 73. Now we getting back the whole country. What kind of fools we must be, selling out for a bag of rice and a cup of tea. You know what does bug me? Help me understand. I can't find piece of property for under 80 grand, but I can fix this. I know what to do. I can squat just like them other people. Try make me do. See, they're selling our country, yes. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. I get everybody sell some every day. Giddy up, giddy up. Come on. They're selling one island, yeah, they won't keep. What can be left for you and me? Is this the example? What's our kids to do? You want them have a sense of pride, or go selling too? Cause they're selling our country, yes. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country, yes. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling our whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country, yes man. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our. They're selling our country, yes, yes. They're selling our land. They're selling our archipelago of sea and sand. Now break down the acronym like you in class. Oh, they're selling the whole country. Ooh, they're selling our.
Whoa, girls, we outdoing.
The law was gazetted in last year, July. They were given a moratorium from July until the 31st of December of last year to meet the requirements. The requirements is they must go to a in-class session for 4 hours and then a practical session for 2 hours. Once they would have successfully passed those courses, then they apply to road traffic for the commercial license.
And if you're wondering if this new requirement
This encompasses tractor trailers, garbage trucks, box trucks, cranes, backhoes, payloaders, and even if you own your private F-150 truck, if you attach a boat to it, a hot dog trailer, or any type of trailer to that, you need to have a commercial driver's license. So we started today with targeting those persons and bringing the awareness to them. We'll continue that this week, and maybe next week we'll start ticketing persons who are driving commercial vehicles without a commercial driver's license.
when it comes to the fines associated with operating a commercial vehicle without the proper license.
$250 for driving the vehicle without a commercial driver's license. A lot of people say, well, I've been driving it for years and I didn't. Yeah, but there's a new requirement now. And as that new requirement is law, you have to meet those requirements.
Good afternoon, Bahamas, and welcome. Thank you to all of you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to have you. I'm doing this emergency live because I was inundated with calls today from all over the Bahamas, but especially from our brothers and sisters in Abaco. Abaco has been through so much recently. Since 2019, they have been through so much. They've been through absolute torture under the Free National Movement administration, where they suffered Dorian, and then they had suffering from the Free National Movement government, and how they treated the Abaconians, how they did not deliver on what they promised, how they held back everything they were supposed to give to them, including the assistance with rebuilding, including supplies that were sent there for them. They were hidden from the people, including the way their loved ones were treated, held in the trailer for months and months and months until they were unrecognizable and had to be given unmarked burials, while the family was not allowed to be exactly at the site where they were being buried. There was so much that they went through. We had the Prime Minister say that Abaco was 95% back to completion, and that was in January, just roughly about 3 months after Dorian had happened. And I had to go there. I took Eyewitness News and Clint Watson with me. The people of Abaco called me down to see exactly what was going on. And I had to let the world know that what Minister said was lies. We had to fight him because they were saying that they couldn't solicit sponsors anymore or aid because the Prime Minister said everything was back 95% to normal. Why would he lie like that? It was confusing to everybody. Since Dorian, they had to go through a pandemic, and then now they're having to suffer through this progressive Liberal Party government that took supplies and sold them. Instead of giving them to the people that they were donated for, their supplies were sold to them. And now we have a new law that, of course, one of the first people we're seeing the effects on are the Abaconians who have spoken out today. And so we heard a voice note that was going out by Miss Leanne, who is a firefighter in Abaco. She's one of 22 volunteers. I spoke to her today. I also spoke to Mr. Danny Sawyer, who is also the chief firefighter down there, to find out exactly what was going on and how this new law was affecting them. And so I'll get to that in a minute. When you get on here, please share. Please make sure we get the word out about what's happening in our nation. It's like we can't catch a break in this country, man. But I just want you to know that change ain't coming. Change is here because we're going to stand up. Will Bahamas, you saw the video that I played a minute ago. You saw the video I played I think that's Lockhart, Superintendent Lockhart, who was saying what the government's new policy is. He was on the news and letting the public know that there is a new commercial driver's license that you have to have. Now, many first world countries have this exact same driver's license if you are a commercial driver. And that's not a problem. I don't think anyone has a problem with that. We already have persons who have to get special licenses. Taxi drivers, for example, bus drivers, for example, they have to get a public service driver's license. And so livery drivers, tour drivers, we've always had drivers who had to get a special license. So I don't think anyone has a problem with that. But I think that what they're doing is actually wrong. What he said was actually not the law. And it concerns Bahamians even more. We keep having these instances of police clearly not knowing the law. When the police, the law enforcers don't know the law, this is when you have a problem. And I put it to you that what Mr. Lockhart told to the Bahamian people is in fact not the law. And we're going to show you what the law is. Thanks to a vigilant Bahamian who decided to go and check the law and put it out there. Saved me a lot of work. But ladies and gentlemen, what the police is saying is not the law. They are absolutely incorrect. They got this law from the first world. What happens is when we get certain loans from IDB, from the IMF, etc., World Bank, they put certain stipulations on us. So they may say, okay, we're going to give you this loan. You want to do some roads, but you're going to have to put a seatbelt law in place. And then you'll see the government trying to scramble and put a seatbelt law in place because these are the things that come with certain laws. They'll put some things on you. And so that's this here is seems to be one of these requirements that they force on us. It is an exact carbon copy of the Florida laws of other states, of what you would see in Canada, what you would see in England, and what you see in other countries, except what Lockhart and the police is saying and what they're forcing on the Bahamian people is absolutely incorrect. All right, and so why do I say that? I'm going to play his thing again so that you can, for you just tuned in, I see a lot of people just tuned in, you can hear what he had to say, and then we're going to show you the law, and I'm going to tell you how the law actually is supposed to work. And so we get rid of all this scaremongering and police officers who don't know the law. You can't say that you need training because this is a senior officer, and he's a good man. I no complaint about this fella. He's a good man and a good police officer. A very good police officer, but he's wrong in this instance. All right, that's really what I'm saying. Listen to him again.
The law was gazetted in last year, July. They were given a moratorium from July until the 31st of December of last year to meet the requirements. The requirements is they must go to a in-class session for 4 hours and then a practical session for 2 hours. Once they would have successfully passed those courses, then they apply to road traffic for the commercial license.
And if you're wondering if this new requirement now affects you,
this encompasses tractor trailers, garbage trucks, box trucks, cranes, backhoes, payloaders, and even if you own your private F-150 truck, if you attach a boat to it, a hot dog trailer, or any type of trailer to that, you need to have a commercial driver's license. So we started today with targeting those persons and bringing the awareness to them. We'll continue that this week, and maybe next week we'll start ticketing persons who are driving commercial vehicles without a commercial driver's license.
When it comes to the fines associated with operating a commercial vehicle without the proper license,
$250 for driving the vehicle without a commercial driver's license. You know, a lot of people say, well, I've been driving it for years and I didn't. Yeah, but there's a new requirement now, and as that new requirement.
Okay, so he says there's a new requirement, etc., etc. So they're saying that the new commercial license, if you're driving a dump truck, a garbage truck, and certain heavy equipment, those kinds of vehicles, you need a new commercial license. I don't think many people have a problem with that, except this seems to be a tax grab in terms of getting this new license. But we'll skip that and we'll keep going to where it affects the regular Bahamian people. So he said those things. Where most people have a problem is where he added that if you have your own private vehicle, that if you are carrying, for example, a hot dog stand, if you are carrying a boat, all right, your little dinghy boat you want to carry on the dock, if you're carrying a boat, any kind of trailer you attach in your vehicle, that you will have to get a commercial driver's license, even though it's not a commercial vehicle. And so what he said was that they're going to start ticketing people next week for persons who are driving commercial vehicles without a commercial driver's license. The problem is if you have your F-150 truck, it doesn't have to be an F-150 truck, a Jeep or a car you could put a hitch on. If you are towing something, it's considered, according to him, a commercial vehicle now. This is not the law. That is not the truth. It is utterly ridiculous. And it seems like since this New Day government, like police officers have lost all knowledge of what the law is. We are seeing this so much and it's coming to fruition. I don't know if it's because of the new commissioner. He's just telling them, listen, just go there and say something. Doesn't matter if it's the law. You see what happened on Bay Street with the taxi drivers. They were lying to persons about what the law is, telling people who were standing on the public sidewalk that they were on private property and arresting and injuring people in arresting them. These kinds of things cannot happen. We love the police. They're out there to keep us safe, et cetera, but wrong is wrong, man. All right? And what he's saying is wrong. I like this Bahamian, and this is a new Bahamian. All right? I don't know who this is. I don't know them. But they went out there and looked at the law. And this is what I want all Bahamians to do. Whenever there's an issue with the law, the good thing about the law is it's written down. All right? It's written somewhere. So just go and look at it. All right? And so what this young man did was he went and looked at the law. And when he looked at the law, he didn't need a legal license for this or a legal degree. He looked and said, this isn't saying what he said. Okay? And so I'm gonna let you see what this brilliant young mind did, what he had to say, because this is what all of us should be doing. And I'm proud that this young Bahamian was able to do this. This is what the new Bahamas is about. They say, okay, COI is cults and that people just follow. No, we're not encouraging anyone to just follow us. We are teaching you how to look for yourself so no one can take advantage of you moving forward. We want the intellectuals. We want those who can think. We want to change Bahamians' mindset so that they can research. And that's why we do this with you every day. And we're proud that this Bahamian was able to do that. We want more Bahamians to continue doing this, because when you start doing this, they won't be able to target me anymore. I won't be a threat. All of us will be. They are terrified of people with knowledge. So I want you to watch what this young man had to say. I'm so sorry. Let me get this out. I want you to watch what this young man had to say. It's very interesting.
I tell you, police need to either read or get, I don't know who from the AG advising them, but they obviously did not read the act. See the Road Traffic Amendment Act 2022? See what it says? Commercial license. Now let me go to you where, what is a commercial driver's license? A person shall not drive vehicle described in the section unless the holder is a commercial driver's license. See, here are the classes that qualify you as commercial. Class A, a vehicle and is whatever tow with a combination of 26,000 pounds, 1 pound or more. A single vehicle used to tow another vehicle where the vehicles have a combined gross weight of 26,000 pounds. It says it right here. And the vehicle being towed has a gross vehicle weight of more than 10,000 pounds. Class B, 26,000 pounds or more. A single vehicle, it says the rate. So you can't, the government knows what vehicles is A, B, and C. See it here? It says it. It says it has the weight. It has the weight. And I don't understand that. I don't understand how we can make such a statement. See here? 3. Commercial, a controller of endorsement of 10,000 pounds or less. A passenger vehicle that carries more than 10 passengers. A vehicle used to haul hazardous materials. This is the rules. This is the law. So how is it that you're telling me something different than in the law? How is it that the police cannot articulate the law? What the fuck? If the police are supposed to be the enforcers of the law, how can they not articulate it? Wow.
The gentleman is correct. He is 100% correct. I am shocked and embarrassed that the police would put something like this out, terrifying Bahamians. Um, that if you have a boat, etc. The same law that you read there is the same in Florida, Oklahoma, New York, etc. Same in Canada. They give you a weight, and that's to make sure that they don't deal with the small stuff. If you're pulling a cement mixer, that's something small. So you don't have to get a license. They even qualify certain things. They even say if this is just a temporary thing, so you just pull in something. You're not a commercial driver. Then you have an exemption. Go and look at the Florida the laws on the from the DMV, etc. I pulled it up, but I'm not going to pull it. You go and do your research. They have exemptions, all right, which makes sense because if you just pull in a boat, you don't pull boats. That's not what you do. You're not a boat puller, all right. That's not a commercial thing for you. But you're taking your boat from your yard to the dock. That's not a commercial activity, all right, in terms of the road, driving, etc. Even if you're a fisherman, because they have an exemption for farmers, all right, for certain farm equipments in the U.S. Even if you're a fisherman, you being on the road, that's not your commercial activity. Your commercial activity is what you pay for the boat. So to have to license your boat, and licensing went up, I think, to $750 now for any boat that you're putting out there on the water. Now you're saying it's another $250 or whatever dollars for just to have a trailer to pull the boat. What are you trying to do to our people? This is ridiculous. This is utterly ridiculous. And we need something to make sense in this country. All right? The exemptions are there. But also there's an exemption in the US for emergency vehicles. Emergency vehicles don't need someone with a commercial driver's license to drive them, or certain government vehicles. So you don't have to tell a police officer, someone driving an ambulance, or a police officer driving a fire truck to have a special license other than the license that they normally have. And this brings us to Abaco and what's happening in Abaco, because this is utterly ridiculous. So, of course, Abaconians, they like to be within the law. They are our, brothers and sisters over there, and they just love to be within the law. So the fire chief, Mr. Danny Sawyer, decided to call the superintendent at the police in Abaco, and ask him, what about our trucks? We heard the police make a certain announcement. And what about our fire trucks? Now, Abaco has a volunteer team. The government didn't supply anything. The government does both F&M and PLP. The government does Abaco worse than any other island in this country. They say that without reservation. But Abaco is the most independent of all of the islands in this country. They didn't have a fire service with all that forest and with all those shanty downs and all that's going on. They didn't have a fire service provided by the government. What they did, they didn't cry. They didn't sit around begging, waiting on the government. They got donors to donate fire trucks to Abaco. They donated fire trucks. And not only did they donate fire trucks, but they got volunteers, 22 volunteers, to volunteer their services as firefighters, to get training and to volunteer their services. All right? And so the government, this doesn't cost you anything. And so for them to hear from the government, so Danny was told that if you take those fire trucks out on the road, you are going to be ticketed. And so to me, that's a threat. That's a threat, and a stupid one at that. If you take the fire trucks on the road, let's say the police station on fire, the police is saying, let it burn. But I guarantee you they wouldn't give them a ticket if they go to try out the fire at the shanty down. They let that happen. But if you go into a Bahamian's house that's on fire and they could lose everything, no. You're getting a ticket. I would love to see the police officer who pulls over a fire truck going to save a house in Abaco. I wanna meet that police officer who would do such a thing. I actually want to meet this officer who gave these instructions to the fire chief down there. I want to hear what his reasoning is. Did he read the law for himself? Because see, a lot of times persons use it as excuse, well, I got instructions, these are my instructions, but your instructions are in the law, and you can't do anything outside of the law. If they gave you instructions to start giving tickets to all black people, will you just follow those instructions? A black person in the car, oh, you got to get a ticket. That's my instructions. I just follow the instructions. You don't follow instructions. You follow lawful instructions. I know it sounds off, but as a senior police officer, gazetted police officer, when you get those instructions, you should go and look at the law and say, hold on, wait, the law isn't saying this. And you don't go public. You call your superior and you say, superior, what the instructions I got is different from the law. We need to reconsider this. What's going on here? And then the senior might say, oh, you know what? I just got instructions from Brave Davis them, and this is what they wanted. And so I didn't look at it, but I'm going to get back to Brave Davis and tell him that this is against the law. We need a country that works. All right? And so to our fire department that are there are weight restrictions. One, we need to deal with the government. There should be exemptions, as there is in every sensible country. There should be exemptions for you because you have an emergency vehicle, all right? But no police officer should be giving you a ticket. For example, the law doesn't allow the police to run the red light. So when the police is going to a scene, there's no law that says you cannot run the red light, the traffic signal, except if you're a police car or ambulance. No law gives an exemption to the police. But which police is going to pull over another police with their siren on, go into a scene because they ran the red light? They slow down, check, and then ran the red light once everyone stopped. Which police is going to give an ambulance or a fire truck a ticket? And so this is where it was just complete asinine, to be honest with you. All right? One, the law seems to be another money grab. It's another money grab by the government. They're trying to find any and every single way to suck money out of the Bahamian people. And there's a reason. A lot of people don't realize and they don't understand that the government is in desperate need of financing right now. And you know, they're not discussing it. We've seen a couple of things in the newspapers recently, but most Bahamians aren't reading the newspapers, so they don't really know exactly what is going on. They don't know that our government is in trouble as relates to our fiscal situation. They don't understand that. Let me I'm going to pull up some news clips that you missed, because guess what? Bahamians don't even read the business section of the papers. There's a reason that the government is finding all these ways to tax your pockets, to tax you to death. All right? And so the real reason for these new fees isn't about safety. It isn't about having some safety issues, because we've not had issues. Our semi-tractor trailers, these are some of the best drivers in the world. How these fellas drive and make these turns, etc., is mind-blowing. All right? You don't see accidents or troubles with them. So it's not about that. Not that we shouldn't regulate these things and make sure that the drivers are A-okay. But that isn't the reason they're doing this. The reason they are doing this is to rape your pockets. They're finding every way to suck money out of you. Every single way. And it's because of this. I don't even think you could see this whole picture. I don't know if you could see it on Yan. I can't see the whole picture. I'm using this software on my phone for the first time, so please excuse me. So basically what this is saying, okay, you can't see the whole thing. I don't know why it's not showing you the whole thing. Let me see. Yeah, I don't know why it's showing you. So basically it's saying that the country is $2.3 billion, has $2.3 billion worth of debt. That is coming forward ASAP. I think you can see all of this one, but it's kind of small. All right. So what this is saying is I think it's the IDB. They are basically saying, let me pull it up so I can see it good. Jesus, can't see it good. The IDB warns the Bahamas on rollover difficulties. So in other words, they are saying that the Bahamas has some major debt issues that is coming forward. We have $900 million in loans that's due in 2 years. And then after that, from 2026 to 2032, they have hundreds of millions of dollars every year that they have to pay that's coming forward. All right. And it's actually the total is closer to $3 billion. And this is why on the slide, the government is trying to find every way to tax money out of your pockets. And this is what they're going to do because they have no vision. And this is where the problem comes in. So this is these are recent newspaper articles. This one of the first one I think is yesterday. This is where our local bodies were saying that the government has some serious debt problems that's ahead, and they have to figure out how to deal with this. So you're going to see the government doing more and more stuff like this, but the real hard part is coming in 2026, when every single year, they won't have a break. Every year, they're going to be licked with some serious debt payments that they have to pay up until 2032. And this is why they're doing what they're doing. So this is going to make it hard for any government that takes over in 2026. And the reason I'm saying this to you is because we now have to figure out what we're going to do. The American dollar might be seriously affected in the near future. It may be seriously affected because of some stuff that's happening around the world. If that happens, our dollar is affected. Our reserves are going to have to be pulled on to make these debt payments because we have to pay all of that what you saw there is foreign debt. That's not the local debt. So we have to find the foreign money, US dollar, to pay that in. All right. That takes our reserves. Our reserves keeps our dollar value, which could cause our dollar value to go even lower if we don't have the reserves. We're in trouble. And this is why you're seeing all of this. So when you see this new license fee here and this new taxing the Airbnbs here and doing this and doing that and allowing the price. The reason they're allowing the price of food to go up is because they collect more VAT by doing so. It doesn't help them to reduce the price of food in the food store or electricity or anything that you're paying, because then they lose VAT money. The more you pay, the more VAT they're collecting. All right. This is what you need to understand. And this is why they're letting the price of everything skyrocket. The reason they raised minimum wage was not to help you. It was to collect more NIB money. All right. That's the trick. Because automatically they get more going into NIB because the pay went up. It wasn't about you. And so all of these new things that you're seeing is to affect you. They have some serious debt they have to pay in short order. Now, what's the point of that? The Coalition of Independence is going to move from being the Bahamas, from being a country dependent on taxes to a country dependent on natural resources. If we don't start mining and eventually processing our natural resources and we making the money from that, if we don't have industries in this country where the money stays here instead of hotels where the money goes straight to the country, we're going to be in serious problems come 2026. By 2030, we are going to be in the situation like Haiti is in. Remember I said these words, save this video, and you can play this in 2030 whether I am here or not. If you allow these governments with no vision to continue. We have carbon credits that the government has admitted that they can make billions of dollars from. And they said they're going to use it to pay down debt. So you're not going to get any of it. Maybe that's their plan for dealing with this debt coming up in 2026. But it's an excuse for them to not have you benefit. What we want to do is when the people benefit, and we give injections to our people, they're going to create the ideas we need that is going to bring more money into the economy. Then the government is going to get more taxes, whether it's VAT or whatever, because we're going to reduce and eventually eliminate VAT, but more business taxes they're going to get from the economy. So instead of taxing you to death, allowing the price of everything to go up and taxing you to death, we're going to make money from the business activities. And that's how countries like the United Arab Emirates, Qatar, and these other countries, Norway, that's how they went from developing nation to developed nation. Because when we pump money into you, people say, why would you give Bahamians money? Because as we pump money into you, that money is circulating in the economy and it's going to come right back to the government through business ideas. You and your family and friends are going to put businesses together. We have to stop depending on 10 people in the cabinet to have the ideas for the country, the direction of the country. Business is supposed to flow where business flows. The market, the free market forces is supposed to determine how business works. That's how it's supposed to work, not the prime minister and a couple people in cabinet determining what business takes place in the country. Because you don't have access to capital, your dream that could benefit this whole country cannot happen. This is how we're trying to switch this country so we don't have a desperate government trying to desperately just throw taxes on people to collect this desperate money that they need badly while not thinking it through. And that's where you see the situation with Abaco coming up. So someone asked me, why would you give Bahamians a check? Because when I give you and your household a check, you and your family members, your brothers and sisters can come together and you can do that business that one of you all has. One of your siblings is good at something, all right? He's a visionary. The others might be good at management. You all come together and you all do an amazing business that's going to give our tourists something to do when they get here. And it's going to help the whole economy. And this is how we need to change things. We're in trouble because of lack of vision. Where should the vision come from? Not from Lincoln Bean. This isn't about whether someone sent me a WhatsApp and he said he was wondering whether if I am the one. And I responded to him by saying, this is not whether I am the one. This is whether we are the ones. This is whether this generation is the one that's going to transform this nation and empower this nation. That is what it is about. It's not about me. It's about us this time. Our whole mission and vision is to empower Bahamians. That's it. And that's all. We have to empower us this go round. And by empowering us, the whole economy is going to start to grow. And instead of just taxing us to death individually, now the government will get business taxes. The government will partner with Bahamians in their dreams, and with all the business flowing. You see, Hubert Ingram went to China to get $3 billion to Sakas Ismailin, someone who isn't a Bahamian, wasn't born here, and he fulfilled his dream. Sakas didn't have $3 billion to build a hotel, just like you don't. Why couldn't they do that for Bahamian? You know what the difference is? When a foreigner makes some money, it's going out of the country. So the GDP, or this GDP per capita where they're saying we're so rich and we're the third richest GDP, that's nonsense. It means nothing. But it would have meant something if Bahamians were making money from that GDP and the money was staying in the country. Someone talked about our debt and the seriousness of our debt. Let me tell you something. Let me educate you. Singapore has the 6th or 5th largest debt in the world. They went from developing nation to developed nation. They have the 5th or 6th largest debt in the world, but yet they are still rated as a AAA credit. We are in junk bonds. And that's why they're so afraid of 2026, because it's going to be hard for us to get any debt, and we may renege on our debt. We may fail on our debts. But Singapore has bad debt, the 6th worst, highest in the world. But they're still AAA. You know why? Because they have a law in their country that the government can only borrow for stuff that the country will benefit from for investments. So even though they have debt, you could see what they're putting the money in. So you would see the Baha'i building hotels or building an island that they can now make money from. You see them investing the country's money. Singapore is the same thing. They invested, their debt is invested in stuff that can bring returns. So their debt was based on assets. So it's like they're not allowed consumer debt. So it's like the difference in a person who borrows money every year to go on vacations. All right, that's money that's poof, that's gone in the wind. Versus a person who builds, for example, to build a complex, an eightplex, for example. If you borrow to build an eightplex, that's free money because the bank puts up the money and you give the bank theirs, and now you're a partner, and you take yours every single month. You give the government their land tax, and so that's a different. That is actually an asset, not a liability. See, and so our country has to do the same thing. There are ways for this debt not to affect us. I won't put it out there in the atmosphere, but we have the solution ready from day one to deal with all of this. Other countries have done it, so it's not a big deal or a big issue. This can be done. So for all of you that out there who have to tow, your hot dog stand, there's nothing in the law that says you can't tow your hot dog stand. That doesn't make your vehicle a commercial vehicle. The government is wrong on that. If you have to tow your cement truck, your cement mixer, the law doesn't say that. It gives a limit of 26,001 pounds. All right, about 13 tons. 26,001 pounds is the total weight. All right, what you're towing, once is less than 10,000 pounds, you're good. Your little boat that you just carry out, that doesn't weigh 10,000 pounds. All right, a typical SUV, Ford Explorer, etc., may weigh about but it depends on the SUV, over 4,000 pounds. All right, so that'll give you an idea. So, because based on them, if you're towing another car, you now need, it's just ridiculous. All right. But their whole idea is to find new ways to get money out of you. Right. So they're going to get more money from this. How? The classes that are now going to take place, they're going to make VAT on those classes. All right. On your fees, whatever it is, they're going to charge you for this new licensing that you're going to be doing. We need to find out who owns these classes and see if this is just something that they were encouraging to see if it went to Crooney. All right. I've been informed by someone that one of the persons involved with the classes, they don't know anything about heavy machinery and trucks. Who's going to be teaching it? So we need to look into these kinds of stuff. All right. So that's what I have. Now I'll take questions now. I need to get a phone so I can see the questions because I can't see them on here. Let me see if I can. Nope, can't see them. Yeah, I can't see them on here. So I'll take questions. I can't take, let me see if I can take some calls. If you want to make a call, if you wanted to add to whatever it is. Yeah, if you want to add, you can call 577-4158. 577-4158. That's the call-in number today. On the road, 577-4158 is the call-in number. If you want to call in and have your say on what was happening with this new idiotic law, 774-4158. We put that up there on the screen for you so you can see it. So that's the number. Okay, I'm going to take the calls. Good afternoon, you're live.
Hey, Lincoln, how you doing?
I'm good.
Boy, I don't think we broke because Prime Minister be flying around like a rock star all the time.
Well, his travel budget is $86 million for the term.
I don't think we broke because if that was the case, he wouldn't be going up like.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they have money. They spend it on what they want to spend it on.
And then they want to get it back by taxing the little small amount.
Yes. They're going to find every way to tax you. They're going to make sure the price of everything stays up so they can collect more VAT. Because if the price in the food store go down, and food is the main thing you spend money on, if the price in the food store goes down, they lose money in VAT.
I mean, this is just ridiculous. Every time we turn around, the price of something going up. Businesses closing, And it's crazy, and they don't think they've done enough. They want just friggin' kill you more.
And they're lying about the law, and then they're breaking the law. You see, they're breaking the law with the Procurement Act. They came and admitted they were breaking the law with the Procurement Act and other laws, and they want you to obey the law, but they won't obey the law. This is ridiculous.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah. Thanks for your call, man. I appreciate it.
Okay.
All right. Good afternoon. You're live.
Hey, what's up? What's up, President?
I am right here, man.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you all bring this topic up today with these guys who are doing this CDL class.
Yeah, man. I had to do a special live for this because everyone was calling me about this CDL thing. And the law is breaking the law, and it's crazy.
Let me tell you all a little secret. This CDL class they doing, you can go right online, pull it up on YouTube. And these guys, if you want this class, this is to get all of the information from it there. They bringing it to the behavior people like they are being in some kind of certification class to get their license to do this job.
Wow.
Trust me, it's a bunch of bull crap. If you go right online, you'll pull up the CDL course, and then they'll show you whatever have you, and they go by whatever they do for that course offline. And the other thing about it, the guy who was doing the CDL class, I'm not sure, but word I hear is he is some kind of family to the PM. So if you put 1 and 2 together, you see where all of this coming in.
Yeah. But in the New Bahamas, they're going to have to give account. There's no statute bar on that. So anywhere we see where they were doing this kind of skullduggery, we're going to deal with them.
And like I think about it, like I say, they say they training people, right? And give it this class. I don't know where they get they training from. But like I say, they put all of it right off of YouTube, the CDL class. You could pull it up, and you will see numerous classes and little things how they go about to do the class. So, to me, they don't have no license to do this course.
That's the question of the day. Who certified the certifiers?
Well, they put in this course on people, and then if you don't pass the course, they fail you and take your money. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I did the class, and if you didn't pass the class, they fail you. I think the course is about, they have different race prices from up to like $550. And then even although after you pass the course, you still have to go back to road traffic and pay additional $100 something to get the license.
Hold on. You said it's $550?
Yes, to get the Class A license. And when you do pass the course, you still got to go to road traffic and pay additional $100 and maybe $50, $100 and something for the CDL license, license they give you.
Man, this good Christian New Day government would never do that to the Bahamian people, man. You lying.
Hey.
Never.
I telling you, I done it, I been there. And hey, that's what it is.
But you missing say $550.
That's for the Class A. In the Class B, they have different prices for Class A, B, and C. But the highest range is, I think the highest range is only about $550.
Jesus.
That's the one what I take. And then you still got to go and pay additional $100 or so to get the license for road traffic.
What?
Yeah. I telling you, right? This ain't no lie. This direct. All right? That's what's going on. All of this is a money grab.
Yeah, it's a money grab. It's a money grab. All right, thanks for the call and thanks for the information, man.
Yeah, man.
I am ashamed of this good Christian government that they would even consider doing something like this. I'm so sorry. We have screen over screen going on here with the chat. All right. So, what you're seeing is more prominently is the chat from everywhere. All right. Perfect. 577-4158 is the number. Good afternoon. You're live.
Good afternoon, Lincoln.
How you doing?
You know, I had to call you as a boat owner. Now, I don't have an F-150. I have a Dodge, so I'm sure I'll be okay.
Yeah. Since it's not a F-150, because the police said it's a F-150, you should be okay.
Yes. So So if they do come after me, I got to call you. And we should go live because it's not an F-150.
But the police don't know what they're talking about, so it might have been a Dodge, and he just said F-150. So I don't know. You know, the police don't know what they're talking about no more, apparently.
No, but seriously, it's not the police. You know, I think they're trying to frustrate our good police. You know.
Yeah.
I think yes, and the police see it. You know, they speak to me every day, and
I know they speak to me too.
That's really. I mean, what are you doing? You're trying to put up the license for the man to go catch fish. Now you're trying to prevent the man can need $500-600 from what the last caller said just to get his old truck because you won't allow him a new truck. You see, the hotel, if they need a truck, they don't have to pay all the tax that we pay. Am I correct, Lincoln?
That's correct.
So they don't have to pay all this duty, VAT, and all these other fees. They can get a new truck for their business. But what about my fishermen? They can't get a new truck. The truck's fallen off, almost not even legal to be on the road because it all broke up, but they can't get a new truck. My guy who does fixing road and fixing cement and sidewalk, whatever, he can't get a truck duty and VAT free. Shoot, my man who sells Bahamian food and he need a delivery truck. The lady who make food and sell it out the back of her car, she can't get a tax-free vehicle. Could she? No. So the fishermen now got to pay mega money to try get the boat into the water and then mega money to be a fisherman in the water. I mean, what is going on? My good cousin, the minister, really need to help the fishermen though. But so if you want to take your little light jet ski and put it on the back of your vehicle, you got to pay this, what the man just say, $600?
Wow.
I mean, that it doesn't get more stupid than what. Look here, man. Like I tell people, Lincoln, they can cause you to win by accident from doing craziness because no one in their right mind could fall for the craziness. You know what we want to hear from them, Lincoln?
What?
We want to hear from them some good ideas like what you come up with on how to pay off the debt.
Yeah.
And there are countries that have no debt. There are countries, even the United States, Alaska, that give money to their people.
Yep.
So I want this government, because I pull for all the governments. I like my prime ministers, all of them, you know. I pull for them to come with the ideas before Christmas on how to pay off the debt, balance the budget, and give every Bahamian a nice solid Christmas bonus. Because if they don't know how to do it, they need to get out the way and let you do it.
All this time you've been saying the solutions, but I'll tell you, and watch how they quickly start talking about this, but doing it in a freaky way. What Dubai did was they started forming private companies. Singapore did the same thing. So the country's debt had no factor. So the country was in debt, and so the country couldn't borrow to do certain things. But what they did was form private companies that's owned by the people and had assets of the some of the assets of the people in those companies. And those new companies with all those assets were able to start doing things to make money. All right. And that's what we're going to do. So, yeah, we're going to be, time as this government finished, we're probably going to be $15 billion in debt or just under that. But what we're going to do when we come in, and then we're going to have some debt that's owed right away. We're going to use our natural resources and we're going to do an assessment of them. We're going to get a valuation of them. We're going to use some crown land, etc. And we are going to make investments that we can benefit from right away. All right. And that includes investments in technology to process our raw material. So to process our limestone, to process our sand into silica that they need for chips, et cetera, to process our sand into glass, etc. So we're not just making the money that sand can be sold for, but the processing part of it. We're going to invite countries like Taiwan to come and partner with us to build their chip companies in Grand Bahama, etc. So that we can start using our sand to help them make their chips that run around the world. This is just some ideas we have to put out there, so we go from being a beggar nation into a producing nation.
But if you're giving these quick solutions, right? Why can't they do it? Why can't they come with the Save the Bahamas plan, as I would call it for you, instead of tax the Bahamas?
They only do what they can personally make money from.
Well,
all right? That's all they do. Go ask Obi about how he blocked things in Grand Bahama. All right, for certain reasons. Go ask what's his name? The chairman of the FNM, Dwayne Sands, how he blocked the medical city that they were going to put in Grand Bahama because he would be losing money. All right, and so now they have a medical city in Cayman that our people, including our doctors, are going to get cheaper health facilities. They are blocking us because they are making the money.
But they would be making tremendous money if they did some of the things you said. But you know what they're going to do, Lincoln? They're going to run quick, fast, and hurry and pass a bill in the House of Assembly that all the F-150 and small truck owners are going to need this new license now. You watch. That's what they could do. And I tell you, if you campaign on this one issue alone, I got to vote for you because I can't pay $600 and then another gang of $1,000 a year just to get a boat in the water. It got to be crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, have a good one.
Thank you, man. 557. I got a few more minutes, but 5 more minutes left, so I'll do just an hour today. I didn't go live yesterday. I didn't go live. It was our special lady's birthday. It was Miss Charlotte Green's birthday. She had a very good day yesterday. She's getting older. I think she may be about 19 or 20 now. Just messing with y'all. But Michelle Green, everybody say happy birthday to Michelle Green. She works very hard saving the Bahamian people. She's been locked up for the Bahamian people. And so I just want to say a special happy birthday to her. All right. So to all of you who have been suffering through these PLP and FNM governments, it's time for government with vision. All they can do to respond is try to badmouth me and Maria to say that, we're bad guys. Don't listen to us because we're bad guys. They start talking about us, not the issues, and I have fun going in WhatsApp groups now to talk about the issues, to hear these people. The minute you start talking about the issues and they know they have no argument with issues, they either they break off running or they just start talking with you. Lincoln, what about the money you owe that woman? I don't owe any woman any money. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, what about this? Okay, let's talk about how we can better our country, not what you're being paid to say, because I want all Bahamians to be paid. I want all of us to benefit from our country. That's my only agenda. That's all I care about. All right. Now, if your government want to do it, then there would be no need for me. But your government has told us that they're not going to do it. All right. And so that's where we are with that. All right. So, Bahamian people, I just want you to know that I love you. I appreciate you. We've been fighting for you. I've told you the law on this. So don't let those police get away with giving you a ticket for pulling your hot dog stand. Nothing in the law says you can't pull your hot dog stand and take this other call. Yeah, we still got a few minutes. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good day, my president. How are you?
I am awesome. How you doing?
I am frustrated.
Oh wow.
It's sad. I don't know when my people are gonna get the picture and stand up. The gentleman paid $240 last year for a license for his boat. He had to pay $2,400.
What?
Yes. I'm gonna see if I can find the receipt. $2,456. Okay? 10 times the amount he had to pay.
Wow.
And now here it is, a gentleman who I know, his business, he closed down this month because he cannot afford to pay his rent and the increased electricity bill. So his rent was $900. He usually pay around $500 in electricity bill. Now it went up to over like $1,100. So that's $2,000. Plus he have to buy food. How the hell the team is supposed to survive? September is the slowest month. That's when the cruise ship and all these other places, kids are going back to school. So the cruise ship, they use those months to service the ship. So you don't catch a break after your money already spend in August, you are going to be on the ride of September, October, not until the last week of November, somewhere around there for Thanksgiving. And then maybe in December, you will hit a break.
Wow. Wow.
And people cannot see what this New Day hell government is doing. And they prorogue the House, and they doing all of these foolishness and want to even address the matter.
Wow.
That inspector who said, okay, this bill, so-called bill, was from last year. That's only a year into since they've been in Parliament. And he's saying this was in from last year. So now why you wait till this year to go ahead and do it when people, the economy just opening up? Come on, man.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for your call.
Okay, then you take care.
All right. 577-4158 is the number is on the screen. I just want to say this to all of you, and I want you to pay attention because our country is slipping away from us. I've been informed by immigration officials that I'll make the announcement when I take this call. Let me say this call first. Good afternoon, you're live.
Good afternoon, Mr. Ben.
How you doing?
All is well. I'm glad that we are now on the conversation about the economy and the needs for currency. I want to give the payment people a clear understanding of the VAT Act, and I've been saying this from 2015, and this is what is important to note. The Act is written by members of Cabinet to empower registrants. Registrants are persons who are registered with VAT. Those persons in the VAT Act collect our monies at the cash register. They also pay VAT at the border or at whatever level underneath their supplies, whether they wholesalers or home member. What happens is those VAT registered businesses get refund 100%. They give the government then change. What that means is whatever they pay for VAT, if VAT they pay is $2, when they charge the people the VAT, they take their $2 out and they give the government the change. That's what that means, 100% refund. Okay? That's written in the law. That's written by those in Parliament.
Yeah.
Alcides is a person who the government seems to have such regard and respect for in terms of his economic progress. But Alcides is the one who is responsible for putting on VAT on the people. I said to Alcides that you cannot put VAT on the people. In 2015, when I met with Alcides privately at his constituency office, this is why I ran. I told Alcides you cannot put VAT on the people if you don't increase the revenue streams of income of people by 10%. And I say, secondly, your tax system is going to tax people more than once. So what happens is VAT isn't paid just once, like income tax. VAT is paid every time you spend. So poor people spend more. So if poor people spend more, then poor people spend more in taxes. So the government collects more taxes from poor people. That is how it was designed, because when they looked at the numbers for NIB could tell us based on the income how many people are in the top tier income and how many people are at the bottom low income. So when they did the tax structure to be a sales tax versus an income tax, it was geared towards targeting the poor people. That's why the government fell out. And that's why I left the government as a consultant. And that's why I ran in 2017 as an independent. And my entire campaign was to expose Alcides on the corruption and on his evil intents and conspiracy of the PLP administration of the Christie, knowing that what they're going to do was not in the best interest of the majority, but in the interest of the small few, those who are registered and collect monies for payments for the VAT for the government, and they are allowed to hold it for 90 days. Most of them probably put on interest accounts at banks that is able to accumulate extra money that they use. Most of them are able to use the money in times when they don't have money being generated by their income to pay off bills and then hopefully pay it off. And most of them probably still owe the government on VAT earnings that they're supposed to pay that was not their money. So I want to lock up some people, Mr. Bay.
All right, well, we got to get in first to lock them up. They ain't gonna lock themselves up. Or if they do, they gonna make sure they mess up the case so the person will get let go. So it could look like they tried to do something. That's what they do.
In a mouthful, I just let the people know that if they read it, they can see where persons have committed treason by writing in laws and policies to benefit a small group versus the majority as a democratic government system. Have a good day, sir.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Gola. Good observation. I wanted to notify all of you that I was told directly from senior persons at the Ministry of Immigration that over 2,000 work permits have been given out in Eleuthera alone. Just Eleuthera. Not just that, over 2,000 were given out in Eleuthera, but they were given out without the due process, without interviews. Eleuthera alone, without the interviews. So what they're doing now is they're sending Brown there to go and do, I'm going to call them posthumous interviews, after the fact interviews. Some of them have tried to do renewals. In this sense, PLP got in power. All right, but this 2,000 they said is about in 1 year. They're sending someone now to go and try to clean this up because everyone is looking. Since Keith Bell was exposed, they feel that there's going to be trouble, so they're trying to clean stuff up. Over 2,000 work permits were given out in Eleuthera alone to Haitian nationals in Eleuthera alone, according to immigration officials. They are terribly concerned that Keith Bell is continuing his reign of terror. Now, I've been receiving calls over the weekend about this minister getting transferred here and asking me if this is true, is that is true, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, did Alfred Sayers really resign? Did Keith Bell get transferred, et cetera, et cetera? Listen, whether it's true or not, it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean a thing, because shuffling the cabinet means nothing. If you have a bag of rotten apples and you shake that bag up, you still got a bag of rotten apples. This whole entire PLP administration need to shuffle their way out of government and carry the F&M with you, because that's your partner in crime. Let me say this while you're here watching and listening. The PLP government is horrible, but the F&M opposition is also horrible. You notice the F&M, until very recently, in fact, weeks ago, until this Keith Bell thing, they were quiet about everything. They weren't saying nothing about nothing. They were like just sitting back and whatever happens. Until people even in the F&M started to criticize them. Look at Lincoln being them doing. Look at Lincoln being them. Look at COI doing this and that. Y'all look bad. Why aren't y'all doing something? But they ain't really say nothing about anything that affects you. They would talk vague stuff. I heard the deputy leader, the F&M, talking about. Oh no, that wasn't deputy leader. That was what was his name? Sinans. Sinans talking about dog laws. We need dog laws on pit bulls. Deputy leader talking about some other nonsense over here, and they talking about stuff that don't affect you. The prime minister got rid of the sovereign wealth fund. They ain't say a word about that. Oh, leave that alone. All the skullduggery they was doing, no, leave that alone. All the people's domes got broken down with almost no notice in Abaco. Shh, say nothing but that. All the scandals that the PLP was doing at first, only the COI was talking. They definitely didn't touch it. I want you all to notice and remember something. I want you to notice something. The leader of the F&M is Michael Pintard. All right? Michael Pintard is an acolyte of Hubert Ingram. Remember, he pushed him into being leader now. Ingram sent Pintard first to run against Perry Christie. Remember that? And then secondly, he sent him to run against Brave Davis. Remember that? In Cat Island. But Michael Pintard, when he ran against Christie, was told, listen, don't run hard against Christie. There's the campaign money, but don't go out campaigning really. All right? And if you talk to persons who campaigned with Michael Pintard at the time, they will tell you this. And we've spoken to some of them on our team. He was told, don't go hard against Christie. This from Ingram. Ingram sent him there to get beat so that Christie would win. Then he sent him there, make it look good against Brave, but only go so hard. And he went there, same thing. Now, Brave, because remember Christie and Ingram and Brave? Now Brave is leader of the opposition. Sorry, of leader of the country. And Pintard is leader of the opposition. And who put Pintard there? Ingram pushed him in there. Ingram stood next to him and say, put him there. And notice what was happening? Pintard was just laying back because he is there to try to give Brave the 2 terms that Christie had, that Ingram had. I always promise to tell you about the political tricks. That's a political trick, y'all. All right? And so Ingram and them put Pintard there. And so Minnis is going to try to come back to break that because he broke their little thing before because Ingram was supposed to come back. But Ingram couldn't come back because of illness in his family. And he didn't come back anymore. All the shirts was printed, the flyers was printed, everything was ready to come back. But he couldn't in the last minute. And that's how Minnis sneak in there. Because Ingram was going to come back and he was going to win. All right? But Dolores got sick. Now they're trying to get Brave to do 2. They ain't just trying for the swing this time because they know you're catching on. They put their stick man there to do certain things. Wake up. All right? Wake up. But their days of raping and robbing this country is over. The Bahamian people are awake and we're coming to take our country back. That's it and that's all. 2,000 work permits. They are making money. This is a money-making scheme. I don't want you all to think these little immigration raids you all seeing now. This is a mafia raid that you are seeing. All right? So like how the mafia go in New York, they'll go to all the stores and neighbors and say, listen, you got to pay your taxes to us or we could break up your store. That's what's happening in a lot of instances. They're shuffling them up, scaring them. And then those in the position with the corrupt dealers, they are telling the Haitians, listen, they can start doing raids, but we can get your papers straight. Come pay for your papers. Give us this amount of money, that amount of money. And because they see raids going on and they're scared, they'll pay whatever money, so the price is going up. This is a money-making scheme. Yesterday, over 200 Haitians landed in the Bahamas from Haiti. 2 or 3 airplanes landed in this country yesterday. They are customers of the Progressive Liberal Party. That's why while everyone else, including the United States government, closed their diplomatic corps in Haiti, the Bahamas have theirs there because it's money-making time. So first they pay under the table for their visa to get here. Then they pay someone to extend the visa. And after extending the visa, then they apply for work permit. They are letting persons get these work permits for them while they're here in the country. All right, it's a money-making scheme. You see? And let me tell you what's really happening, because it's happening in Harbor Island, it's happening in Nassau, all over the place. Someone approached me with it, a Haitian approached me with it, I guess they didn't know what it was. But it's happening all over the place, and that's how Elutra has so much work permits. So Bahamians would get the work permit, that the persons would pay for it, all right? So the Haitian would pay for the work permit, whatever it actually costs the government, and whatever it costs the whoever they're paying off, they'll pay for that. But they'll put it in that Bahamian's name or in their business name. And the Haitian would then be forced to pay $100 to $150 a week to that person who signed for them. That's the business scam, one of that is going on here right now. People are selling out their country. There's one person in Harbor Island, I'm told, who signed for 70, that's 70, Haitians to work for him. 70. Someone asked me if that's a crime. Yes. Well, it depends on what you charge them with. We could charge them with fraud. And if they charge with fraud, they're many years in jail. All right? But 70. So let's say it's just 100. They paying each, because we know some of them paying 150. But that's $7,000 a week that person is getting. Free money. A week. 7 times 4 is $28,000 a month from these Haitians. They are using them, raping and robbing them, and making it seem like they're there for them. That's why the scheme is being allowed. There's a ring, a criminal ring to sell out our country. That is what the new day is. And this is why this is being allowed. This is why Keith Bell was doing what he is doing, and this is why they can't touch him. Other than to now do a shuffle and send someone just like him there to continue what he was doing. We have to wake up in this country, or we won't have a country. I'm calling on all of our airport workers. When those planes lands, don't be afraid. Don't tell me you to work. Take the videos and pictures and show the Bahamian people what is coming in every single week. Show them, because they won't understand unless they see it. Several planes landed from Haiti. They are sending them in every Tuesday and every Saturday. If you are an airport worker, please, we need you to be patriots to save our country. Don't talk about your job, because in the near future, that same job you're trying to protect is going to be gone, and they can replace you. Just like they replaced Bahamians at fish fry. Look at the fish fry now. That looks like a shanty town. Go look at how nasty in the back of there is. It looks like the culture is changing. There's a bunch of security officers all over this country. Your young sons, etc., could have had those jobs, but now a bunch of them could barely speak English. A bunch of the construction workers in this country, that's your son who did a trade, who learned a trade. And now, nothing. Let's save our country. I'm standing up for this country. You don't like it? Too bad. You call me whatever you want to call me. But the only persons I see are victims of xenophobia in this country is Bahamians. We are the only victims of xenophobia in this country. We are the only ones getting beat down and marginalized. We're the only ones being left out and kicked out. We got foreigners doing swimming with the pigs now. Foreigners. We got foreigners doing water sports in our country. Foreigners. Trying to sell some coconut on the beach now. The hotels want to sell coconut for $20-something. Everything we can make money from, they are pushing us out, making it difficult. That's why they make it so hard. They get a business license. You got to go through this, go through that. They don't want you. They want you to frustrate you so that you don't even want to think about getting a business license. They're making it difficult when it don't have to be. Listen, you go in the US and you get a business license like that right now. I could form a company in the US today. What time it is? 4:56. Before the end of the day, I'll have my company formed. They're making it difficult for y'all. Why? Because you can vote for them anyway. They could get the third party to sell out, or they could just vilify them. So you say, no. We need people with experience. We need someone who is good like Jesus. We need someone who's never sinned before. We want Jesus to run for us. Look, see, the PLP is full of Jesuses, like Brave Davis. So good and clean and decent. Ladies and gentlemen, this would only work if you make this work. You have to spread the word. You have to spread the message. You have to talk to your friends and family. Someone say, Lincoln, you all need to do this. You all need to do that. No. You will make this happen. A church only grows not because of the pastor, it grows because the members invite their friends and family, and they come, they like it, and they stay. The people have to make this happen. That's how the first PLP won. The people. It wasn't what Pinland did. It's what you do. So don't tell me you're going to need to go in the parks and you're no. There's a COI supporter in every house, in every workplace, in every church, in every bus, everywhere in this country. Your job is to spread the word. You got to have this new Bahamas, man. If we don't do this by 2026, whenever the next election is called, we finish. That's the last election we're going to be the majority. All these said who come in on work permits now, they won't have their citizenship yet. After that, by the next election, which is, that's 8 or 9 years, they will qualify to be citizens. The ones who here on work permits now, you will be outnumbered. And they are flooding them in every day. Wake up. This election, we got to make this happen. Put all of your differences aside. Forget about your party this time and think about your country. Because you will be outnumbered. Next, the country is going to be in so much debt. Starting in 2026. I showed you the article. Go Google it. Go look in the Tribune, Guardian. The country's going to be in so much debt that you're going to start collapsing. And if the dollar starts to get affected by what's happening in BRICS, you're in problems. You are going to be worse than Haiti. The difference between Haiti and us, who went through the same kind of breakdown, they could handle that. The Albanians don't know how to tug it out and suffer. Y'all don't know how to do it out. They could handle that. What don't move them could break you. They could live in the Shantytown. They live in there now. Your children don't deserve what the PLP and FNM have in store for them. Let's get this done. Thank you all for tuning in. Still end up doing almost an hour and a half today. I'm going to continue to fight. They're going to continue to attack us and spread lies, etc. I'm now going to WhatsApp groups and allowing people to talk to me. They want to talk constructive things and they will talk about the New Bahamas. I am infiltrating WhatsApp groups and I'm talking to people. All right. And so if you want me in your WhatsApp group, your family WhatsApp group, you want me in there temporarily to answer some questions, let them ask me the tough questions. Any questions is allowed. I had one person ask me, how he said, Lincoln, how can you run the country if you can't run your home? That's what he said to me. I think he was talking about the fact that I'm divorced. And I said to him, you don't get it. It was a political troll, right? But I still answered him. I said, you don't get it. This ain't about me trying to run the country. This is about me trying to make the country run itself. We want to put the policies in place, island states and city government, so that you're running yourself. You don't have to depend on a politician to pave your roads, to patch your roads, to put up a sign. This is about me running the country. Our vision is that our communities will run themselves. City government. That's what this is about, first and foremost. And I told him, well, I don't know if he's talking about the fact that I got divorced, but so did Brave Davis. That's fine. That's okay that he got divorced. So did Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela got divorced before he became one of the greatest leaders in the world. He got a divorce before his election. Moses sent his wife back home to Jethro, and then he married a black woman after that. One thing has nothing to do with the next. All right. I am focused on delivering the Bahamas to the Bahamians. I'm not here to do this forever. I'm here to put the policies in place, ingrain them in our constitution so no one can come afterwards and change it. Once that's done, I'm gone. You will be running yourselves. You will not be dependent on any politician. You will have your own budget in your community and you will determine what happens in your community. City government. That's what it is. It can be done right now because we have the law called local government in place. We just have to edit that law, amend that law, and now you'll have a mayor. Now you have your own budget, and no one can tell you what to do. It's simple as that. All right? And so the trolls are getting paid to keep you poor. All right? To just cause confusion. Instead of having constructive conversation, you know what they were told by Fred? Just go in there and just start throwing mud. So that people start throwing mud back. And then when you look in the groups, you start to see people just throwing mud back and forward. The supporters of one party and just throwing mud back and forward. And then you're not really discussing what's going on in the country. And that's the plan of Fred Mitchell. All right? When they start doing that, start hitting them with what's going on in the country. Start hitting them with the corruption of this government. Start hitting them with the vision of the COI and what we're putting forward. It's time for change. All right? And so the change is coming. The change is not coming. The change is already here. All right? So thank you to all of you. I love you with all of my heart. I'm going to continue fighting for you. We're going live again on Sunday. Make sure you're there. You know we always got more stuff to release. Remember, 2,000 new immigrants, I guess they came off the plane, got the extension, went to Lutra, got someone to sign for them while they're in the country. Keith Bell, they are alleging that you are going in the system and doing this yourself. You need to answer to that. That the signature of the director, Ms. Ferguson, is being used, but our signature is in the system already. So if you go in the system and do the approval, then you don't need her. Keith Bell, are you doing these yourself? That's what persons at immigration are alleging. Brave, I know y'all making money and this is a big money making thing for y'all, but I need y'all to think about our country. Y'all making yourself so rich that when you destroy this country, you could live in a different section of the country that's not affected, or you can go move to another country. But there's a lot of Bahamians who this all we got. Someone says, I thought Bell and Sayers gone. We don't know that yet. So it's just rumors they putting out there to cause confusion and cause you to not talk about it. Whenever you see them putting stuff out there like that, don't focus on that. Look and see what else they're doing. It's a magician's trick. It's called prestidigitation. He is telling you about something in this hand, but the trick is actually happening in this hand. All right? But he's getting you to focus on this hand. When you see them doing stuff like that, don't focus on what they making you focus on, especially when you see that is a PLP troll. You see the person who's putting that out there on Facebook, that's a PLP troll. All right? That's when troll who worked at Bahama, all right, Jamless or something. Don't follow them because they want you to go in that direction while they're doing the trick in the next hand. All right? Whenever it come out, but don't follow the rumors. They want to change the conversation while they're doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for tuning in. Love you all. Appreciate you all. See you on Sunday at 5 p.m. God bless you.